Welcome one and all to Scotch and Smoke Rings. Sorry about that. It never fails, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here, and I've got my microphone, and it's turned on, and it's not muted. Here, I see everybody in the chat now. Now saying that there's no audio. Yes, I'm here, and the audio's working. I just checked it. Well, welcome one and all to episode 556 of Scotch and Smoke Rings. It's going to be a great episode today. Here's the way it's going to work. We're going to do Half-Life Alyx after the program. For the first hour or so, it's a live Q&A where you can ask questions and I will answer them. And then after the program, I'm going to take about 5 minutes to get my VR headset on to fire up Half-Life Alyx, and then we'll be playing some Half-Life Alyx. That is the plan for today. I made some major changes to the way my computer works, so hopefully that's going to fix Half-Life Alyx. I did test it before the show, and I was able to meet those energy dog creatures without having the computer crash, so hopefully we'll be okay. I did it by increasing the paging file or something of my computer. Anyway, it seems to have worked, so we'll go with that. Josh Bunton with a tip says, Ox, the mic is on mute. Thank you, Josh, very much for your kindness. But I think I've got it all fixed now. Good to see the regulars and the members in the chat today. No Name, Weird Beard, Rachel, 200 Angel, Chininator, JC Sandberg, Jiggles, The Easy Life, Deuteronomus, Unka Budakal. Sorry if I completely butchered that. Dominic Mace, Barry LeCount, Kathy Robbins, Megan M, Rob Colley, Quintius, Stephen, Eric the Red, HFD14, Jackie. So good to see everybody here. It's going to be a good show. Personal take on Wastelanders asks Kiyagaku-san. Sorry about that. Knew that was probably going to be one of the first questions that was raised. My response to Wastelanders is overwhelmingly positive. We've streamed 40 hours of it on this program, ladies and gentlemen. For 10 whole episodes, I streamed Wastelanders, completed every single quest, every single character. Didn't find absolutely everything, but we found a new cryptid. We completed a new event. We found all 4 new allies that we can have back at our camp, and we completed all of the major primary quests. So, we've completed a lot, and I had a great time throughout the entire thing. I'm already working on my lore videos for Wastelanders. I'm gonna hopefully get them out this weekend, but I'm having a hard time with the music composition. I'm trying to do like an intro video, like I typically do for the beginning of my lore series, and I have not found a song yet. I know what song I want. I know the song that I want, but my composer hasn't finished it yet. So I don't know if I'm going to have the videos for the weekend, but I'm going to try. But yeah, it's a great update for Fallout 76. It's a welcome change. The quests are fun and engaging. With anything, there's creative criticism, and that's what I would say my feedback falls into. In terms of a quality DLC, it is a quality DLC. I don't know if I would have gone the way they chose to go for a few certain circumstances. For example, the way that they brought the pre-war U.S. military in during the settler quest line gave me cause to pause. I mean, I don't know if there's anything inherently lore-breaking about that, because clearly Roger Maxson couldn't have contacted everyone in the military, right? I mean, yes, they contacted... yes, he took over the branch of the military that was at the Mariposa military base, and yes, he managed to get a hold of Elizabeth Taggarty, but there are 50 states in the Union, and clearly he couldn't have gotten a hold of everybody. So... surely there are going to be pockets of U.S. military that suddenly have no command and are kind of wondering what they're going to do. Enter the group that we find in Appalachia, but 26 years, that's the thing. What did they do for 26 years? Where were they? How did they stay a cohesive United States military unit for 26 years what is their reason for contacting the dwellers from Vault 76? And is it really because they wanted to get on board with rebuilding civilization through the gold in Vault 79 and the Foundation? I mean, I don't know. There's just a few things there that just don't really... I don't know how they go together. And then, every now and then you'll find a few mistakes, in addition to some of the cheesy dialogue that we got every now and then, especially when doing the ally quest for Sophia, which was a lot of fun. I mean, the cheesy dialogue made it a lot of fun for the live stream, but it was slightly awkward. Despite things like that, every now and then they made a little bit of a lore mistake. Now, Duchess, for example, when we get her back at the wasteland, at the Wayward, she says that the bombs dropped 100 years ago, which of course didn't happen. The bombs dropped 26 years ago, so she's got her math wrong there. So there are little things like that, right? But overall, it's a lot of fun. The quests are engaging. I haven't really been able to explore any of the rewards yet because they make you go through this huge gold bullion grind, which I don't ever really want to do. I mean, I know I don't have the Gauss shotgun yet. That would have been nice, but I got to go through a bullion grind. No, I don't have the Gauss pistol yet. I could have spent my bullion on that, but I chose not to. I've got about 500 gold bullion. They've got an entire brand new suit of T65. Yes, you heard that right. T65 power armor, which I would love to learn the lore behind, but we don't really get any of that. It's instead simply sold as pieces in the Vault 79 armory. So we don't get any lore behind this brand new power armor, at least none that I've learned about yet. But yeah, I don't have any of that because I don't want to grind the gold bullion. And I haven't finished my reputation gains with the Foundation yet, so I don't have the Gauss shotgun. So in terms of gear, I walk away a little bit deflated. I was really grateful to find that power armor helmet for the T-51B, the new skin that we find inside the Grafton Steel. That was a lot of fun. It seemed like it was only one piece to a larger set, but we got that one nice piece, and it's just a cosmetic skin, so nothing new about the armor. Yeah, I mean, that's basically my take on Wastelanders. I'm looking forward to going through all the lore videos. I'm going to go through every quest, every character, every episode. Probably won't do a loot video, because again, I don't want to grind, so I probably won't get all that gold bullion, and I won't get any of the loot, which is a shame for a DLC that you get for the game. But aside from that, yeah, I'm having a really good time with it. Okay, now, lots of comments. No Name says, we get to see our weekly installment of Oxhorn flying around his office in VR gear. That's right, we'll be playing some Half-Life Alyx in a bit. Matthew says, evening Ox, hope you and the family are still staying safe. I just wrapped up a whiskey and cigar night with some of my friends through Zoom. Happy to continue my libations with you. Well, it's good to have you on the program, Matthew, and I'm glad you're able to continue with your favorite pastime despite the quarantine. The Dark Seraph in the chat says, I've got a bottle of Glenfiddich and a sweet cigar. Holy hell, Glenfiddich is expensive. Gotta make that last. It is. A good bottle of Scotch is expensive. You gotta sort of sip it and just make it last. So you're on the right track there. Roland says, greetings from San Antonio, Ox. Greetings, Roland. Good to have you on the program. No Name says, cigar to add to your list. Surrogate satin gloves. Surrogate satin gloves. I'll have to Google that, add it to my list, see if it's something I want to take part in later on. Welcome, new member, Liz Andrews. Thank you so much for joining. The Easy Life says, hey, Oxhorn, finally got into playing Fallout 76, and I'm relapsing into a craving for Coke when I find bottles of Nuka-Cola throughout the Fallout world. Love you, Ox. Looking forward to your, and then it flew off the screen, to your future videos. Thanks, The Easy Life. I never really was a big soda fan, but I do love Nuka-Cola. Like, I don't know why. Maybe it's because the bottles are so shiny and colorful. Maybe it's something inside the reptilian part of my brain that sees a bottle of Nuka-Cola and makes me go, ooh. But I'm the same way. Mojave Courier says, kind of off topic, but how long to grow a beard like yours? I want one. Good night. Thank you, Mojave Courier. Well, I mean, I think it's different from person to person, but I think you can reach your personal beard's terminal length at, what is it, like 6 months or something like that, 6 to 9 months. Most hair grows at the same rate, but every single person has a different terminal length. This isn't even, this isn't the full extent of my power. No, this isn't my terminal length. I think like the longest my beard can get is about to here. And I've grown it that long before in the past, but I tend to keep it a little bit closer to the chin, so I trim it up a little bit. K. May says, hey, Oxhorn, there are lots of days when I miss exploring the Mojave and the Commonwealth with you. Well, my videos are always online. If you ever feel like that again, hop into Fallout New Vegas or Fallout 4, and then just put me on another monitor, right? I'll be there with you. Eric the Red says, you would think that an astronaut would be good at math. Talking about Sophia. You would think so, Eric the Red. But everyone has their limitations. Maybe, maybe she is better at field work or something. Or she completed the math portion of her degree a long time ago, joined the USSA, became an astronaut, and, just needed to brush up on her math a bit. Are you talking about in reference to the 100 years? That was actually Duchess. She wasn't the astronaut. Sophia was the astronaut. Duchess is the one who, in the Wayward, towards the beginning of her quest line, says that the bombs dropped 100 years ago. That's a mistake. That they didn't. Nobody of consequence. I mean, it's possible that maybe she made that mistake, but since she is a pre-war character, we find Duchess references to Duchess inside the ruins of Welsh. She should know better. She lived before the war, so she should know better. Which is even referenced in her storyline. That's like, how do you make that? I'm not going to get into it. Nobody of consequence, because I could go off, says, hi Ox, would you kindly give a shout out to my girlfriend Michelle? Just one more week and we'll be together again. Thank you for all you do, good sir. Well, shout out to Nobody of Consequence's girlfriend, Michelle. I hope the week goes by quickly and you two can enjoy your time together. Mac West says, evening Ox, just enrolled for my classes and I have a 9-hour lab next semester. Wish me luck. Well, you'll need it, my friend, but just bear in mind it sounds rough now, but it'll be over in a flash. And you'll be thinking back to those college days with fond memories for the rest of your life. So good luck to you, my friend. Rachel says, what are the long-term lore implications of Appalachia establishing an alternative currency just 25 years post-war and isn't heard of anywhere else later? Well, anything can happen, right? When we end the Wastelanders DLC, and if we're successful and we gain access to Vault 79, and we start exchanging gold bullion for items that are stored within the vault, again, another part of the storyline which I don't quite understand. I mean, they've got the gold, right? So, anyway, whatever. Even if all of that happens, we already know that they fail. Because 200 years later, during the events of Fallout 3, there's no mention of Vault 79, a new currency of gold in Appalachia, or anything really going on in Appalachia. The only reference we have to Appalachia is inside the Citadel, where we find evidence and record of Vault 76. But even then, they've got the dates wrong. They said that the vault was supposed to open 24 years after the bombs dropped, or something, and then there was 1 year off, if I remember correctly. The entry inside the Citadel was 1 year off. I think it was 26 or 24, and it ended up opening 25. And that was never explained. Was it just an accident in the Vault Tech terminal, or what? That was just never explained. But we know that they ultimately failed. So they could have as wild of success as they wanted to, but as long as something happens to guarantee their failure, it's still canonical, right? Because as long as we find out that it just didn't work, maybe there's another nuclear apocalypse. I mean, after all, the residents of Vault 76 are dropping bombs all over the place. Maybe they trigger something. Maybe there's another pandemic. Anything could happen to completely wipe out Appalachia, so that by the time of the events of Fallout 3, the capital wasteland is the place to go, and nobody's even talking or thinking about Appalachia. So all of that is within the realm of possibility. Welcome new member Katie Hayes and new member Adam Cleveland. Josh Bunton says, Ox, here's the gas money I would have spent on gas to go to work this weekend, but won't need it after quitting one of my jobs. Wow. All right. Well, I hope you quit on good terms. I hope it was like a positive thing. People leaving jobs to go pursue greater things and stuff like that. I hope it wasn't a sad thing, but thank you very much for the tip. I appreciate it, and I hope it all works out. Ash Malachi, new member, but I remember Ash Malachi. Maybe he's renewing his membership. He's got a silver derby now. Thank you, Ash Malachi. Triumphant Oxhorn fans says, the NFL draft is happening. Do you have a favorite NFL or college football team? Go Michigan. Go Blue. And thank you, Ox, for your brilliant content. I have to admit that I don't really follow football. The last time I was big into football was back when the Seattle Seahawks were in the Super Bowl, and the entire city of Seattle was all gung-ho about Seahawks. They had number 12 banners hanging from the skyscrapers, and they would shine green and blue lights on all of the buildings. I mean, we went crazy. Seattle went crazy for a while when our team was in the Super Bowl. But since then, I don't really follow it. So I don't know anything about what's going on right now. I'm not caught up on the season. Naughty Applejack, new member. Thank you very much, Naughty Applejack. Good to have you here, my friend. Josh Mills says, love the Fallout lore. Will you do Alien lore? I don't know. I really enjoy the Alien series. It sounds like one of those things that I can see myself getting into, because I love alternate timelines like that. And I really enjoyed Alien Isolation, but I don't know, I mean, the second Alien movie, Aliens, diverged a little bit from the feel of the first one. I mean, it's still a good movie. I remember watching it when it came out back in the 90s. James Cameron did a good job. But, so many of the things changed compared to the first one, and then since then there have been comic books, and it's become a very busy franchise, right? And at least with Fallout, I mean, yeah, there's like the Lonesome Road, the All Roads comic, but aside from the All Roads comic, everything is found within the games. It's a less noisy franchise, so I'm able to sort of go in and put things together. I don't know. I mean, maybe. I really enjoyed Alien Isolation, so I understand why you're asking, because I really got into the game. I don't know if I'll turn it into a lore series, though. Rob Colley says, here's less than impressive bribe to get you to play Dying Light next. Sorry, I can't do $200 each time like I used to. Getting close to that gold hat. Thank you, Rob. Don't worry, $200. I mean, the $5 is fine. You don't need to go broke giving me tips. Dying Light, let's see here. I mean, it looks like a good game, Dying Light 2. I'm thinking what I may want to do is Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, right? Since I've got my VR gear already out and hooked up, I hear it's a very short VR game. I could probably do it in one stream. I'm thinking of maybe doing Wolfenstein Cyber Pilot, just so that we can experience it and we can say we've done every Wolfenstein game since I've done all of the others. But there's a lot to do. I don't think I'm short of options. Adam Cleveland says, hey, Oxhorn, been watching your videos for a while now. Have you ever considered lore videos on the Outer Worlds? I've done a few lore videos for the Outer Worlds, but I don't know. I mean, for the Outer Worlds, it's not really open. It's not as open world as the Fallout franchise. It's its own thing, and it's really good. It's a wonderful RPG. I really enjoyed playing it. I live streamed the entire game on my channel. But here's the difference. When I live stream a Fallout game, I don't feel it's really difficult to get everything, right? When I live streamed the Outer Worlds, I pretty much got everything. I mean, there were dialogue options that I couldn't get because I wasn't inspecting the character, spec right for my character. But I did every quest. I met every person. I explored every room, got every piece of loot practically. I mean, I pretty much did everything. I didn't get every ending, but and that's because the Outer Worlds is constructed not like a large open world, like a Fallout game typically is, but a series of smaller open zones that are connected via your ship. Your ship can fly to each of these smaller zones, Byzantium, the Meteor, Cyphera or something like that, Cypheros, and then a few areas on planets. You can't explore outside certain areas. And each of those little zones are pretty small. Even the biggest one, it took me a couple of streams to get through the entire thing, and we were done. So, I don't know if I want to do a lore series on that. I could. I mean, it's very similar with L.A. Noire, like the lore series I did on L.A. Noire. I just followed the missions, and I told that story. I could tell that story in Outer Worlds. I don't know if the demand is there, though. What the lore videos that I have done for Outer Worlds have been received okay, but it's not like there were huge, a lot of views and a lot of people banging on the doors to get more Outer Worlds lore. Plus, I still have so much Fallout stuff to do. So maybe someday. Doomsday says, thanks for reading these and responding. It's a lovely personal touch. Love to see you. Cheers, Ox. Need to become a member. Well, thanks, Doomsday. I've been doing the show for a long time. I've always really enjoyed having an opportunity once a week to just sit down one-on-one and chat with everybody. Josh says, I was a pizza delivery driver for 8 years for my local Domino's, and I left it to focus on my security job. Great. Well, I'm glad it was a good move for you. So congratulations on moving to consolidate your jobs. Rachel says, can we expect a Bessie t-shirt? Comforting Moo. Oh, I don't know. Maybe. Bessie was pretty great. Bessie, the sentry bot painted up like a Brahmin. Canned Laughter says, wait, you enjoyed Alien Isolation? Half of us nearly crapped ourselves multiple times just watching you play that game. Yeah, that was the fun of it. It's the first survival horror game where I felt drawn in by the world, and I felt like there was a bigger world outside of what we were exploring. All of the lore about Wayland Yutani and the ships outside, the Nostromos, of course, Ripley's original ship, and just the technology that they developed. It felt like there was much more than just Sevastopol, the space station that we were exploring. So that's one really cool thing that I enjoyed. I looked forward to every terminal that we found there just so I could learn more of the world. And the alien legitimately felt terrifying, but I also felt like I had a toolkit to take care of it. And that's where I think survival horror games kind of go wrong, at least for me. In the survival games, in the horror games that I play, I rarely feel like my character has the tools necessary to defeat the creature or to avoid the creature. With Alien Isolation, if I died, it's almost always because I did something wrong, right? Now, there are a few times where it was just really impossible. In the moments when I died over and over and over and over again were pretty frustrating. But I could craft things. The flamethrower was useful. I always had something that I could use. So yeah, I enjoyed it. Alien Face says, been enjoying your playthrough of Red Dead Redemption 2. Finally bought it and been telling my wife I'm a cowboy now. Lol. It's a great game. Hey, if she was watching the live streams, I'm sure she'd understand. Sparty Green says, go green. That is all. The sports reference there. Okay. Go green. Go blue. Go colors. All sorts of colors. The Anubi says, hey, Oxhorn, just bought my first pistol today, but sadly all of the ranges are closed. Hope all is well, and go Michigan State Spartans. We've got another Spartan fan in the chat. Well, enjoy your new pistol, and I hope the range is open soon so that you can go and try it out. No Name says, Sisty Pigs Unite. Harkening back to our Outer Worlds streams. You know what? I don't need to think of Sisty Pigs again for a long time. Thank you, No Name. Ryan Gatchell says, hey, Ox, I watched the launch party last Sunday that you were a part of. It was great. Thanks. Yeah, we had a lot of fun. I tried to talk a lot about it during my live streams of Wastelanders last week, and I promoted it on Twitter as well. But I took part in a launch party or an after-launch party for Wastelanders involving Juicehead, Pete Hines, and the fine fellows at the Fallout 76 Chad podcast. And it was a blast. There was questions about the game. We drank, which was fun. I had the Oxhorn special. To find out what the Oxhorn special is, you should probably watch it. Though I'm sure you can guess what the Oxhorn special was. And we did trivia quizzes, and I'm very happy to say that my team won. My team won. Spoiler, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but my team won the trivia quizzes. So, I mean, if my team didn't win the Fallout trivia quizzes, I would have been very shamed, really. Shamed. But we pulled through. It was all right. Tony from Syracuse says, have you seen Fallout VR? Does it look good? If you've tried it, just walk around in the world. Might be cool. I actually live streamed all of Fallout 4 VR on this channel a few years ago, back in 2016, when it first came out. That's how I got all my VR gear to begin with. And it does look great in person. It doesn't look very good in the videos that I recorded, and that's partially due to just the loss of quality that you get trying to translate the three-dimensional VR world into a two-dimensional. Like, the nice thing about Half-Life Alyx is they've got this projector with which projects a better image onto the screen, and it's got the UI in front of it. It just looks a lot better. When I was live streaming Fallout 4, for some reason, it just didn't look good when I chose one of the eyes, because you can only choose one of the eyes that you want to broadcast when you're trying to broadcast a VR game. And I was really frustrated at the time because it didn't look the way it looked to me. When I played it with the VR headset on, it looked great. And it was one of the best VR games I had played. I felt like I was part of the world. And then I'm watching the replay and I'm like, this doesn't look quite as good as I remember. But I did go through the entire thing, and you can watch the live streams on my YouTube channel if you're interested. Welcome new member Sean Lindsay. Thank you, my friend. Good to have you on the program. The Dark Seraph says, I'll save the Glenfiddich for special occasions. I bought it with the government bailout. I mean, the stimulus rebate, he says. Oh, really? That wasn't for food? Or toilet paper? You got Scotch? I'm not going to be critical there. I'll tell you what, chat, let me know what you guys think about the Dark Seraph spending the government bailout stimulus check on Scotch. Let me know your thoughts. Moving on. Communism is Key says, when will you do a complete story of Fallout 4? Eventually. It's high up there on my list to do. I mean, I wanted to get through Far Harbor. I got through Far Harbor. Wastelanders has dropped. I'm now getting through Wastelanders. Then, once I finish Wastelanders, it's full story of Fallout 76, or full story of Fallout 4, or full story of Fallout Tactics, or the story of Fallout Brotherhood of Steel. So there's stuff I can do. There's a lot I can do. Robert says, Ox, would love to see a new Fallout 76 Raider character stream in the weekly rotation. Well, I did make a new character, and I made a Raider character because I'm trying to capture more footage to get some of those other dialogue options for my lore videos. The thing is, it's a very different feel playing the game for a live audience than it is playing it by yourself. And I've gone through all of Wastelanders with the live audience on my main character, Oxhorn. I streamed all that content. I'm really enjoying being able to, play it for myself while I'm capturing extra footage with my Raider character. I mean, for the first time in my playing of Fallout 76, I'm actually listening to the radio, which is one of the things I loved most about Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 and Fallout New Vegas, which I couldn't do when I live streamed all of Wastelanders for copyright reasons. But when I'm playing it by myself, I can listen to the radio, I can hear the new radio DJ in Wastelanders, who is really cool. She's a great character. Maybe I'll do a video on her eventually. I don't know. I'm kind of just having a good time right now playing the game for myself. Maybe I'll stream it some more. Kilo77 says, a pair of jumper cables go into a bar. Bartender says, I'll serve you, but don't start anything. Cheers, Ox. Hope you and your family are doing well. Cheers, Kilo. That was great. You too. Jason Bowers with a tip. Thank you, Jason. Saber says, favorite Fallout game and favorite thing about it. I don't have a favorite Fallout game. I love them all equally for very different reasons. But my favorite thing about Fallout is the ability to play at your own pace and uncover the story as you want to. You can go right through all the quests, get all the rewards to the end, or you can just malinger around dungeons, avoid the main story for a while, which is typically what I do in Fallout games. In Fallouts 3, New Vegas, and 4, every time I played them, I avoided the main story. I did all the side quests, I went to all of the other locations, and then I saved the main story for last. I don't know why. I just did. Keegan Reisinger says, $20 bribe to take your hat off for a second. Want to see that quarantine haircut. If you don't want to, then just a thanks for all of your quality content. And this is the year of the Lions. Go Super Bowl. Well, you're going to see me take my hat off anyway because I have to do the VR. So thank you for the bribe. I'll take the money. But taking the hat off is not that big of a deal. I actually grabbed a razor and I cut my own hair because I couldn't stand it anymore. I have a trimmer. I've talked about it on the program before. I just went up the sides. I left the top the same because I was too afraid to do anything to the top. But I trimmed up the sides, and there you go. I'm getting more gray hair every day. Jay-Z says, Ox, glad to see you. Do you plan to revisit Fallout 76? So many random encounter NPCs with interesting lore. Also, max affinity with Raiders gets Armco ammo machine, which converts ammo types to ammo types you need. That's really cool. Bummed I'm not going to get it because I didn't side with the Raiders. Whoops. No, but I will have a Raider character, so maybe she'll enjoy that. She'll enjoy that. Jacob says, help! I need medical attention. Jacob, that's a tragedy, but you've come to the right place. So if you're wanting medical attention here on Scotch and Smoke Rings, this is what you do. Go away from the computer. Call a doctor. Because if what you're describing is true, you, sir, need serious medical attention. Probably from a professional who knows how to handle really tragic situations. Tragic. So call a doctor, 911, just get it taken care of. That would be my expert advice because as everyone knows, I am qualified to talk about medical issues here on the program. So if you look down and that's what you saw, I would be mortified too. Just take care of it. Don't wait. You don't want to go to sleep tonight and wake up and find something horrible has happened. My advice. Oh my goodness, I haven't even lit my cigar yet. I can't get through the comments fast enough. Chininator says, I would have spent my stimulus on the best scotch I could get my hands on. Well, good. Well, then you two are in agreement there. Officially, according to the Scotch and Smoke Rings audience, spending your stimulus check on scotch is okay. It's okay. Dude from Montana says, since we're quarantined, how about Caravan? I should probably learn how to play the game so I can do a video on it. It's on my list of things to do. No Name says, End of Dungeon Steamer Truck, which is a shirt, by the way. If you want one, I've got it in my shirt shop. Jay Mills says, time to light something on fire. Yeah, I'll take the opportunity to just pause the chat. I've been trying to whip through as many as I can, but it's 35 minutes in and I haven't lit anything on fire, so here we go. Much better. Mark Eric Lane says, I just found an Oxhorn drinking coffee Easter egg at the top of the Golden Dome at Charleston. Take your jetpack and check it out. It's unbearably cute. Well, I mean, it could be an Easter egg about me, but bowler hats existed before I decided to wear one in this chat. So just because we find a teddy bear wearing a bowling hat, drinking coffee, doesn't necessarily mean that it's a reference to me. But I'll take it. We can assume that it's a reference to me. Jessica Sharp says, hey Oxhorn, good evening. I can't wait for your next Alan Wake American Nightmare live stream. It reminds me of a combination of Twilight Zone and American Psycho. Keep up the great work. Yeah, that went down the American Psycho route, didn't it? with Mr. Scratch. Holy cow. I had no idea what to expect before going in. But man, yeah, American Psycho vibes there. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm kind of bummed that they decided that the storyline route that they wanted to go was to reuse the 3 same maps over and over again 3 different times, just unlocking different notebook pieces and story elements each time you go through it. For the story they wanted to tell, it does make sense. I get it, but it's also a little weird that they chose to do that. But yeah, we'll probably finish that up on Monday. It's a great game. I'm having fun. Nobody of consequence says, is Sisty Pig evil? Lore video, please. Lamau. I mean, it's mutated. I wouldn't necessarily call it evil. Can we not talk about Sisty Pigs? I mean, I was about to go on a spiel there, but I'm just not going to. I've said everything I want to say about Sisty Pigs. There's really nothing more I want to say. Sparks Vens says the real question is, when are you going to do Fallout Shelter? Oh, God. Probably won't ever do Fallout Shelter. Maybe I'll live stream it someday. Would you guys like that? But I probably won't do lore videos on Fallout Shelter. Philip G says, honestly, where would we be without the Dark Seraph? Better be a bad joke coming soon, though he can drink while you VR. That's true. I won't be able to drink while I'm doing VR. Rapid Steve says, just wanted to say your stuff is really brilliant. Good to binge, watch, / listen to. Always listen to your videos as I roam around on Fallout 76, as a matter of fact. I'm doing it right now. That's great. You've got me live while you're playing the game. I think that's wonderful. Excellent taste, my friend. Jay-Z says, Ox, please play the game by yourself. Enjoy the game like the rest of us. Just summarize what you found in lore videos. Also, in Atomic Shop, there was a globe with nuclear explosions all over it. Canonical? Yes or no? Nothing in the Atom Shop is canonical. Just nothing. They've, time and time again, have already just railroaded lore in the Atom Shop, so I don't think we can at any point expect anything to ever come out of the Atomic Shop as being canonical. Think of it this way. The Atomic Shop is just like Disneyland for a Fallout fan, right? It's where people dress up and get their toys and play, right? The problem is when you have to stumble upon those people playing Fallout in your own Fallout game. But, you know, going to someone else's camp and seeing that big spinning globe with all the explosions everywhere and finding them in Liberty Prime themed power armor, or the latest communist China themed power armor, because it's not like lore explicitly says that the communist Chinese never created power armor, which is why the drums dropped to begin with, because America had the T-51 set, which is what caused them to win at Anchorage to begin with. It's not like that's the actual lore or anything. So let's just give the Chinese some power armor. Sorry. Yeah, nothing in the Atomic Shop is canonical. So when I play Fallout 76, I just completely ignore anything Atomic Shop related. And then I have myself a canonical Fallout game. That's how I get through it. Justin Ortega says, used it to stimulate my liquor cabinet a bit. Oh, you used your stimulus to stimulate your liquor cabinet. That's creative. I gotta hand it here, creative. Kiago-san says, Ox, you revived 76 before Wastelanders, as always. Well, I enjoyed Fallout 76 before Wastelanders. I enjoy Wastelanders as well. It's a great game to have fun with. Sheba Fan says, hey, Oxhorn, what's the most terrifying word in nuclear physics? Oops. There are a number of scientific professions where oops is the most terrifying word to hear. The Dark Seraph says, I recommended a game called The Cave. It's inexpensive and has witty humor. Let's see. And it's on Steam. From Monkey Island and Maniac Mansion creator Ron Gilbert. Ooh, looks interesting. I'll have to check it out. Thank you, my friend. Communism is key, says hashtag Fallout Shelter lore. Maybe. All right. I finally got to the end of comments. 41 minutes in, and I'm finally done to the end of Super Chats, at least. Got to relight my cigar. Katie says, you seem upset about that. Well, what do you expect? I log into Fallout 76 to shoot some footage, and they got this big splash screen promoting Chinese communist-themed power armor. And I'm like, why? Oh, the reason America won in Anchorage is because the Chinese didn't have power armor. What are we supposed to believe? That the Chinese had a secret stash of power armor that they just chose not to use? Yeah, we've got power armor, but let's lose the war. That sounds fun. Whatever. Not gonna get mad. It's the Atomic Shop. It doesn't matter. Michael Civandes, welcome new member, my friend. Great to have you on the program. You came at the right time. David Marsh says, hey, Ox, first time catching you live, and I thought the greatest thing I could do to show my appreciation for your dedication to Fallout lore and send you a donation. That's extremely kind, and I really greatly appreciate it. Jack Ben-Sivenja says, what is your favorite Fallout collectible you own? Sorry if this is a hard question. Also, good smoking to you. Probably my Giddy-Up Buttercup. I have a custom-made Giddy-Up Buttercup made by a fellow who 3D printed it, and it's great, hand-painted and everything. I love it. I showed it off in my collectible video, I think. Actually, no, I didn't. I'm waiting. I'm going to do a follow-up video. Later this year, when I get the last prop, I ordered a prop back at the end of 2018, and it hasn't arrived yet. And I've been waiting to do a big office reveal until this prop arrives. So I'm gonna show off the Giddy Up Buttercup, which is sitting right over there, and this final prop in an upcoming video later. Katie says, take a smoke hunt, it'll help. Thank you, that helped. GKing920 says, hey Ox, have you ever played through the original Mass Effect trilogy? I think you'd love it. Very funny, great story. I hear a lot of great things about Mass Effect. I did play Andromeda, but I know that Andromeda was not the Mass Effect game I should have started with. I know. You don't need to tell me. Everyone has already told me that Mass Effect Andromeda was not a good game to start with. Didn't really like it that much. Maybe I'll get into the rest of the Mass Effect series later on. The Anubi says, I think they're implying the communist armor was modified American power armor made by the spies, seeing as there were Americans selling power armor illegally. Well, that's a huge implication. I mean, no, they don't imply that in the lore anywhere. Basically, someone just kind of invented that to make it work. Let's see. We really want this communist Chinese power armor to work with the lore, and we've already been told that the communist Chinese didn't have power armor, but here we find power armor. How do we explain this? Maybe the Chinese spies on American soil who are spies and are actively spying, aka not wearing power armor, which is hard to conceal and not something a spy would ever use. Maybe these spies just stole some power armor and painted it with Chinese colors because these spies, who again are trying to do espionage, are maybe going to rebel and attack the government with their communist Chinese power armor someday, maybe. Of course, none of that is explained ever in the game, or they don't explain the Chinese power armor. We'll just make that up because that makes sense for Chinese spies on American soil. Whatever. Rachel says, the only thing flat earthers have to fear is the sphere itself. Right? That's true. Welcome, new member Tammy Wiswell. Good to have you on the program, my friend. Michael Savandes says, $20 bribe toward future Scotch in exchange for asking if you would consider working on a Fallout fan project. Not asking for a commitment right now. Interested to know if it's worth asking to have the convo. You know what? I have great admiration for Fallout fan projects and Fallout mods and all of that. I am creative in other ways. I don't really make mods. I don't participate in fan projects all that much. I like my videos. I like having creative control over them. I'll do interviews every now and then, but I'm kind of a Fallout hermit. I have friendships with other YouTubers and content creators and modders and all of that, but I also just really like to do my own thing. So I probably wouldn't be involved. Not that I didn't appreciate it, but I probably wouldn't be involved just because I enjoy doing my own thing. Joker Zip says, thanks for streaming so much Wastelanders. It convinced me to finally buy Fallout 76. How do you really feel about the Chinese power armor? Man, I'm sorry for even mentioning it because it's just going to keep getting me upset. Hey, Abbott says, so what are we smoking tonight? Also had my first beer tonight. Not sure what to think. Well, I'm smoking a La Aurora y Leon cigar and having a great time with this. It's my go-to cigar. I've had it soaking in my humidor at 7% humidity and 70 degrees Celsius, or no, Fahrenheit, for months now, and it's perfect. It's perfect in every way. Well, you know what? Beer isn't for everybody. I don't like most beer. I like a nice dark beer, not Guinness. I mean, Guinness is okay. Don't get me wrong. I like Guinness, but I like a stronger beer, like Irish Death is a good beer, and I like Belgian beers as well. Belgian beers are good. So you just got to find the right beer, I think. Jay-Z says, Ox, how about American sympathizers repurposing the armor for the liberation of America after the bombs dropped along with the Liberator robots? Okay, sure. Well, I mean, we already know the lore concerning the Liberator robots. The Liberator robots were propaganda machines released by the spies at the Mama Dolce's factory in Appalachia, right? Which is why we find the propaganda flyers on them, right? They weren't actually attacking America. I think they were repurposed for that after the war, but they were supposed to be propaganda machines, but that they were designed to be before the war. Now, okay, so do we have a bunch of Chinese sympathizers on American soil who are, native to America? They were born and raised here, but they just love communism for some reason. Oh man, this communism is just so great. And so they sympathize with China, and they've been secretly organizing and without any contact with communist China have been making their own power army fleet and painting it with Chinese colors. Okay, sure, maybe plausible, but explain it. Don't leave it up to us to come up with. I mean, sure, there are any number of ways, I suppose, we could explain it away. But if you're going to throw something into the game, then you got to explain it if you want it to be taken seriously from a lore perspective, which they don't with the Atom Shop, which is why I don't take the Atom Shop seriously from a lore perspective. Now, everything else in the game, I'm going to try to take seriously. I'll try to explain it or to figure it out if they, leave at least the briefest of an explanation. Which has got me a little bit concerned about the T-65 because we already learned that the T-60 was a pre-war series of power armor that never saw combat because it was created just before the bombs dropped. And if that's already the case with T-60, where did T-65 come from? Was it also, how many experimental suits of power armor was the government working on just as the bombs were dropping? I mean, it already took them a long time to make the T-51 and the T-45, which was introduced with Fallout 3. Where does that come in? That was what was used in Anchorage, right? That was and then the EXO one, that was Enclave. That's another pre-war power armor that they were working on that never saw combat, but was salvaged by the Enclave and used exclusively by them. Where does the 65 fit into all of that? I'm a little bit nervous when we finally get the lore explaining 65, how that's going to tie in with everything else. There comes a point where you just can't keep making up suits of power armor. See, the nice thing about Excavator is because it's not in any way connected with the military, right? It makes perfect sense within the context of the world. It's a suit of power armor created by somebody who worked at the military and had worked on power armor projects in the past, but it was a suit of power armor created specifically for miners so that they could mine faster. It never saw combat. It was a mining suit of power armor, which explains its better carrying capacity. Okay, that makes perfect sense. I'll buy that. I love it. It's great. Chinese communist power armor? Liberty Prime themed power armor? No. Drawn the line there. I'll overlook a jet. I'm not overlooking Liberty Prime themed power armor. That's where I draw the line. Sorry. Okay, where was I? Oh my gosh, you guys have really been chatting while I was while I was engaged in that. Okay, where am I? Epic Geek Gameplay says, I enjoy Fallout, but there's plenty of lore-breaking stuff in it that I just counted as non-canon. Well, everybody kind of has to deal with their own way of approaching the canon of the Fallout universe. Dude from Montana says, next update, 76ers have to defeat Communist Prime. Oh, God. Just kill me now. Just kill me now if Communist Prime starts wading through the mountains of Appalachia. But, oh no, we found that cryptid pinned to Seneca rocks. Only Communist Prime could have pinned the cryptid to the side of Seneca rocks. Oh dear. Well, let's just hope that doesn't come true. David Lorette says, your content is great. Been binge watching all of your other 76 streams. Waiting for tonight's, lol. Just got the game a few days ago and can't put it down. Keep it up. Thank you, my friend. Glad you're having a good time. Epic Geek Gameplay says, meant Fallout 76 specifically. Well, Fallout 76 has some lore-breaking stuff, but I wouldn't say, well, at least pre-Wastelanders, and I don't know about Wastelanders. I have to think about it. But at least pre-Wastelanders, it doesn't have more lore-breaking stuff than any other Fallout game. My biggest issue with 76 pre-Wastelanders is the gear. A lot of the gun lore and the gear and equipment that we find in Appalachia doesn't make sense. Why is there a harpoon gun in landlocked Appalachia? Why? Well, obviously because they wanted to reuse assets from Far Harbor, but no, from a lore perspective, what is a harpoon gun found on a boat doing in Appalachia? What is a giant cannon? What is the broadsider from the Commonwealth doing in Appalachia? What is the ship's naval cannon doing as an actual weapon in Appalachia? And why does it drop off of every single enemy that we kill? Why are there thousands of... I remember I've been scrapping so many broadsiders. I've got every single mod unlocked for the broadsider, but I don't even have everything unlocked for the lever action rifle, right? Like, those are the kind of things that bother me when it comes to regular Fallout 76. More deeper lore things, like the super mutant thing, that was well explained. It doesn't bother me. They took the time to explain it. I want to give them credit for that. The Brotherhood in Appalachia, again, it bothered me at first until I got to the point in the game where they explained it. And I went, oh, all right, you took the time to explain it. It's within the realm of possibility. I'm not going to let that bother me. That's fine. But the broadsider and the harpoon gun, man, they didn't explain those things. That bothers me. I'm gonna get my dander all riled up there. D-Tarian says, sounds like it's time for a drink. Cheers, D-Tarian, cheers. Tammy says, glad to be back. Miss you, hope this helps. Thank you, Tammy. It does indeed help. I'm feeling good today. I had my oats this morning. Communism is key, saying, is there something wrong with communism? Oh, nothing. It's been great for the Soviet Union and Communist China, and great leap forward. Fine. Air 404, Gamer Not Found, says, sorry I'm late, Oxhorn. How are things? Hey, chat. Things are going well, my friend. I think the chat is feeling good, too. Mac West says, did China have microfusion, or did they rely on fossil fuels? If they did have microfusion, then why were they in Anchorage? If they didn't have microfusion, then how did they have Liberator robots? Well, so the reason that China declared war on the United States of America, as we learned from Fallout 2, is because the United States of America used underhanded tactics to secure the world's last remaining cache of fossil fuels. And then they annexed Canada, and Canada only agreed to become annexed because they got an agreement with the United States to share the world's last remaining source of fossil fuels. That excluded China, it excluded Europe and the Middle East, which had already devolved into, fighting city-states. So really, Canada and the United States had the world's remaining oil. And China said, forget this, we're going to war. So China went to war over fossil fuels. Now, we already know that due to the shortages of fossil fuels, America at least had invested a lot into nuclear technology, which is why they had mastered microfusion and had nuclear-powered cars and nuclear-powered robots and nuclear-powered war machines and all of that. But we don't see any of that coming from China, like at all. I think they've got nuclear-powered submarines, and that's it. Like, I don't think, is there anything else that's nuclear-powered that came from China? I'm not sure. I can't think of any Chinese weapons that, I mean, there's the only Chinese weapon, we've got the Chinese assault rifle, we've got the Chinese stealth armor, but the Chinese stealth armor isn't nuclear powered. There's really nothing. There are submarines, those are nuclear powered, and that's it. So they were probably way, way, way behind when it comes to nuclear technology, which I think can help explain why they declared war on the United States, because they needed that oil. Which is going to make the emergence of communist Chinese power armor even more hard to believe. Especially if it takes the exact same fuel as American-made power armor, unless they say, oh yeah, well, the Chinese, they were so super sneaky that they stole America's plans for the power armor. That's how they did it. Okay, fine. Jack says, can't donate to Oxhorn if you're a communist. No, I will take your communist money, and I will put it in a safe capitalist place. Thank you very much. Sparks Benz says, just close your eyes and calm down and say Fallout Shelter lore, Fallout Shelter lore. I'm doing okay. I'm cool, calm, and collected. The Anubi says, have you ever had Dragon's Milk Stout? I have not had Dragon's Milk Stout. I'll have to add it to the list of things that I want to enjoy later. Kyle says, rest of my money, Lamau. Cheers. And new to the stream. Thank you, Kyle, for coming to the broadcast. And I certainly hope you haven't given me the rest of your money, but I'm glad you're here. Ryder Wheeler says, got me a chocolate cigar and a Mike's Lemonade. Even finishing up my Fallout 4 modded Brotherhood of Steel playthrough. Well, enjoy your Mike's Lemonade and your chocolate cigar. No shame there. You want a chocolate cigar? Get yourself a chocolate cigar. It's America. K. May says, feeling like they're adding things just because it's online. Oh, well, maybe. I mean, the Atomic Shop, they're going to add whatever people will buy. That's the nature of the Atomic Shop. It's there to make money. So if people are going to buy it, they're going to put it on the Atomic Shop. For those of us who are concerned with lore, I guess, I'm perfectly happy to dismiss the Atomic Shop, which incidentally is why I don't cover it. I've never done a video on the Atomic Shop. I've never spent any of my atoms. Anything from the Atomic Shop that I've gotten for free, right? I haven't spent a single atom, which is why my character has tons and tons of atoms. So I'm not concerned with it. As far as I'm concerned, I just pretend it's not there. And when you do that, Fallout 76 has plenty of other lore that was really well thought out and carefully crafted and placed into the world. It's a legitimate Fallout game, and that's the game I'm going to enjoy. Hallie Travers, new member, thank you, Hallie Travers, says, your hat is awesome. Thank you. I've been wearing this hat on the program for a very long time. It could stand a cleaning. I haven't cleaned it in over a decade, so one of these days I'll throw it in the dishwasher or something. David Debergerac says, I like this angry Oxhorn. You should make lore videos with that tone when you find problems. Oh, no. Oh, no. I've shown you the angry Oxhorn now. The cat's out of the bag. Now you're going to demand more. Uh-oh. Rapid Steve says, possible PRC made its own, but was never able to make enough / deploy them to make any real difference to the war before it ended, like World War II Germany versus the Soviets. Also possible, but if the case, needs to be explicitly explained in some lore way, not simply thrown in the Atomic Shop as a new skin. There's a difference. Grim Reaper says, what's your favorite faction of the entire Fallout series? I love what the Minutemen stand for. I enjoyed being part of the Minutemen. If I had to compare the Minutemen to the NCR, though, I think the NCR has a much longer history, which is infinitely more interesting. They've got a number of different facets to the NCR, like the 1st Recon and the NCR Rangers. I think the NCR is a much more interesting faction than the Minutemen, though I like what the Minutemen stand for a lot better than the NCR. Line Cliche says, the Fallout universe is Pam dreaming. Why do we spark when we decom shower? Why do we spark when we decom shower? That's a great question. So why do we, the Fallout universe is Pan dreaming, an interesting fan theory. Why do we spark when we decontaminate shower? We do our character grunts and goes, really? I don't know if we spark, but we almost take pain when we become decontaminated. Maybe it's hot. Maybe it's a hot shower. And that's their only way of letting us know. Our character goes, "Argh," when we become contaminated. Philip G says, do you ever make contact with Bethesda on lore issues, and do they respond? Also, my lady character was given a Nuke Girl suit prior to going into the vault. I'll justify this, dang it. Give me this, please. No, I don't talk with Bethesda ever about anything. Every now and then, their representatives will reach out to me if a new game is coming out, like Doom, for example. I got Doom Eternal early. I got to talk with their PR guys about that. But yeah, I don't know anybody who writes lore or does any of the storytelling. I don't talk with them about any of that ever at all. And many of the people whom I have talked to at Bethesda don't know anything about the lore. Like even Pete Hines, during the interview that we had during the Fallout broadcast thing, he even said during that show that he didn't know lore, like the Fallout lore. He has played the games, but he doesn't know a lot about the lore because that's not his job. He's in marketing, right? Which makes perfect sense. He's not a Fallout storyteller. He does marketing for the Fallout game and the Doom franchise and the Wolfenstein franchise and the Elder. Like he's got a lot of different things he's trying to market. So, do we really expect him to know the ins and outs and finer details and points of Fallout lore? Probably not. So, even if I could talk with someone I knew at Bethesda, I don't really know anyone who writes the lore or is responsible for it. So, no, I don't talk with them at all about lore stuff. And if you've got a Nuka Girl suit, hey, that's fine. The Nuka Girl suit existed in the universe at Nuka World. And it's probable that it was sold as Halloween costumes or that it was found in a variety of places all over the world because the Nuka Girl was a beloved Nuka-Cola mascot. So there's nothing lore-breaking about that particular suit, in my opinion. Oh man, I know I need to start the game, but you guys there's so much stuff I need to read. So many comments I haven't gotten to yet. Brian says, hey, Oxhorn, I saw you've written a book. What's it about? That's right. Many years ago, we're talking over a decade ago, like way back in my early 20s, I wrote a fantasy novel about a sailor called The Tale of Cloran Hastings. It's available on my website, cloranhastings.com. No Name says, Chinese power armor is powered by hamsters. Now that I could buy. If they came out with Chinese power armor powered by hamsters, I would do a very happy lore video about that. The Longbow says, speaking of alcohol, what about beer like Budweiser, Budvar, or Pilsner Urquell? I must ask because I'm a proud citizen of the Czech Republic. Greetings, by the way. I've not tried either of those before. I'm open to trying both. When I have some context, I might be able to comment on them. But I've never tried him before. The Gaming Godfather is a new member. Thank you, The Gaming Godfather. Error 404, Gamer Not Found, says, death is a preferable alternative to communism, as Liberty Prime says over and over again. Of course, he's not talking about his death. He's talking about the death of all of the American soldiers who were dying beside him in battle. Well, it was supposed to be. Wandering Paladin says, hey, watching your streams almost makes me want to play 76. Keep up the good work. I'm about halfway through your complete Fallout 2 saga. Thank you very much for watching. I had such a good time with Fallout 2, and I hope you enjoy the story. Nathaniel Walker says, I, for one, accept our communist hillbilly overlords. Are these the communist hillbillies who crafted their own communist power armor in pre-war America? Maybe that's what happened. David Perkis says, leading Caesar's legion in the Battle of Hoover Dam. Awe amicus. Awe amicus, my friend, for Kaiser. Papa Chewbacca says, hey, Oxhorn, will you be playing The Last of Us 2? Maybe if it ever comes out for the PC. I know that I haven't played The Last of Us 1 because it never came out to the PC. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall it ever coming out for the PC, and I don't play console games. It's the controller. I have a hard time with the controller. If it ever comes out for the PC, yeah, maybe I'll play it. Welcome to member Bentley Collins. Good to have you on the program. The Easy Life says, I fell into a Red Dead Redemption 2 playthrough and I'm obsessed with hunting the different creatures to make trapper claws. But tracking down the small creatures like badgers has been the bane of my existence. Lol. Yeah, that's why I haven't gotten into any of the hunting or crafting in Red Dead Redemption 2 yet. As much as I know that I would personally really enjoy all of that if I had the time to just go through the game slowly. In my live streams, I'm really focused on getting into the story, completing the quests, doing a bit of the action. So a lot of the side stuff I haven't been able to do just yet. Christine R. says, greetings from Canada. Thanks, Sox. Your videos in Fallout 4 have kept me sane during these strange times. They are indeed strange, and you're very welcome. Being able to do this during these strange times has helped keep me sane. Douglas Delegard says, hello, Oxhorn, and all in chat. Hello, Douglas. Good to have you on the program today. Loving your content, says Marcus Weber. Thank you, Marcus. Lots more to come. Retro Roots says, do you do voice work over? Do you do voiceover work for LGR? I'm not sure what LGR is, so that's a no. I'm open to doing voice work. I've just haven't done any voice work. So, yeah. Brian says, Oxhorn, game recommendation, Horizon Zero Dawn PC. I think you'll love it. I get that a lot on the channel, so I'm probably going to try Horizon Zero Dawn when it comes out for the PC. Sounds like a great game. All right, and with that, I have gotten to the end of the Super Chats, and we're only 7 minutes over time. So what I'm going to do is, even though we got a lot of people watching right now, I kind of hate to end the program, but I'm going to stop broadcasting for a few minutes, only about 5 minutes, and I'm going to be right back with some Half-Life Alyx. I'm only going to stop the broadcast because I've got to put on my headset, fiddle with a few things on my computer to get the VR system up and running, and then we'll dive right in and pick up where we left off, fighting that doggone creature in Half-Life Alyx. Epic Geek Gameplay says, hey, Oxhorn, have you ever thought about switching up your look, such as wearing a flat cap or a top hat? It's when I'm not doing this, I don't wear hats. Like, I like hats, don't get me wrong. I have a fine collection of hats. But when I'm not doing this show, like, I wear this hat once a week. Or I take that back. I wear the hat only when I live stream. So it's not like I wear a lot of hats outside of the house. But, yeah, I don't feel compelled to switch to a top hat or wear a variety of other hats. I think I'm like, this one is good. This is my good show hat. I put on my show hat before doing the show, and when I'm done with the show, I take the hat off. I've done my show, the hat goes back on my little hat hook over there. The Raging Krogan with a couple of tips. Thank you very much, The Raging Krogan. All right, and Jordan Batchend, new member. Thank you very much, Jordan. Billum Capricum says puff time. Right. My cigar's gone out because I've been talking so much, but if it were still lit, it would be puff time. All right, my friends, I'm going to end the broadcast. Again, I'm only going to be offline for about 5 to 10 minutes, so stay right here. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to tweet out a link to the new broadcast if I need to when I'm back. So thank you again for coming to Scotch and Smoke Rings, episode 556, the Q&A portion. We are going to dive into Half-Life Alyx in just a few moments. I will be right back.